first name?
My name is Keri
And where do you live?
in Harrisonville, Missouri.
Okay. Can you tell us how heart disease has touched your life?
Well, I was born with a congenital heart defect, so I have lived with heart disease my entire life. Not only myself, but my dad also was born with a congenital heart defect, and his dad, my grandfather, died of a massive heart attack at the age of 66. So it's been a part of our family as long as I can remember. I was born with a congenital heart defect. We were born with a bicuspid aortic valve and aortic stenosis. So instead of having 3 leaflets on our aortic valve, we only had 2. So the valve didn't open and close properly, which created a lot of backwash and regurgitation. So the blood didn't pump through the valve in the aorta properly. So with activity and physical activity or exertion, would get winded real easily. So I guess growing up, that's what I dealt with. In junior high, once I reached that age, my cardiologist completely cut me out of all physical activities at school. Was not allowed to be involved in any sports or anything of that nature. They just didn't know exactly. They were afraid that would cause that increased pressure on the valve and on the aorta. So I was very limited. Was told growing up I would probably never be able to have children because of the stress, a pregnancy, and the extra blood volume and everything that it would cause on my heart. But thankfully, through advancements and whatnot, I was actually able to have 2 children. So that's a little bit about my story.
How has heart disease affected the ones you've loved?
Well, as I mentioned, my dad has the exact same heart defect, and not only my dad, but my son Dakota, who is now a senior in high school. He's 17, but he also has the same congenital heart defect. So it's been very interesting for our family that it's 3 generations deep, and the advancements that have been made through the years is really what's been remarkable for our family, and how it's touched not only my dad and myself and my son, but others in our family. It doesn't just affect the patient. Obviously it affects your entire family, and our family has truly benefited from all of the medical advancements that have been made through the years. When I was a kid, and I was 12 years old when my dad had his first open heart surgery, and I remember my parents talking about trying to find a surgeon that had the highest survival rate to do the aortic valve replacement, because it was a newer procedure. But he had that done back in 1985, and I clearly remember that conversation, and being scared to death. Quite honestly, as a young preteen, and thinking, I have the same thing that my dad has, so this is what I'm going to be facing as well. But fast forward to 2003, when I had my open heart surgery. The advancements that had been made, it was remarkable, the improvements, and how much smoother and how much more advanced not only the procedure was, but the medications and the actual implanted devices that we received. That's what's been most remarkable for our family, is to experience those advancements that have been made. And really, that's what gives me hope for Dakota. Because he will most likely need to have a surgery to replace his aortic valve as well at some point. There's who knows what tomorrow will bring. They're already doing some new procedures where they do the valve replacements through the femoral artery. I think that's called a TAVI procedure. That would be remarkable if Dakota would be able to have that type of a procedure, or something even more advanced than that, and not have to have his chest, cracked to be able to do that type of an open heart surgery that my dad and I both had to go through. So,
how do you think this has affected you emotionally as a child, as an adult and now as a mother?
Well, I think it makes you a stronger person. I mean, I remember being, as a younger kid, other students, other children, would snicker, would make fun because I would literally have to sit in the bleachers during PE class when others were running laps or doing some of their calisthenics. I mean, I couldn't do it. I would get so winded and out of breath. And children can be cruel. And I remember saying, what did I do to deserve this? Why is this happening to me? And then, when I went in to see a cardiologist, right after my husband and I got married, and he said, we're not sure that having children is really an option for you. I mean, it's devastating. So I mean, it really, made me. You dig down deep, you keep your faith, and you think about how fortunate you are, really, that there are treatments out there to help and repair and give me a second and a third chance, at life. Not only did I have open heart surgery, but I received a pacemaker 5 years ago, and I had a TIA 2.5 years ago. I had a mini stroke, and going through all of those things, I think, make you appreciate life even more, make you appreciate all of the advancements that are out there. And again, that's just what is so encouraging, because I know that Dakota his future is bright. I mean, he's going to be able to live a long, normal, healthy life, because I know those advancements will just continue to develop, and it makes your family, I think, extra close. You have that special understanding and that bond, and it just makes you so grateful for the opportunities and every opportunity that you have to experience and create a memory. I guess really is how it puts life in a new perspective when you're faced with those type of situations.
Experienced it as a child. What advice have you given your son?
Obviously, he needs to lead as healthy of a lifestyle as he can, and he has been very fortunate that he has been able to play sports all the way through high school. He is a varsity soccer player, and playing midfield, where he is running the full field, on some offense and defense, and he is in excellent physical, aerobic shape otherwise, but he knows to listen to his body. He knows, how far to push it and when he needs to take a break, and really just encouraging him to lead as healthy of a life as he can. You can't control your congenital defect that you're born with, but you can control those other lifestyle factors. So to try and live as healthy of a life other than that is going to be so important, but also to be an advocate for himself with his heart and with his health. And if something doesn't feel right, to not be afraid to say something, but to listen to his body.
What are some of the lifestyle changes that you have made as a family?
That's a hard question. I mean, we had the benefit of knowing all along about the heart defect, so it wasn't a shock to us, and we've always tried to, live as healthy of a lifestyle as we can. I'm not going to say we never go out and have fast food. I mean, I'm a mom with 2 very active children. It's difficult with busy schedules and whatnot, but really it's just trying to be conscious and to be aware of all of the various risk factors, and just trying to lead as healthy of a lifestyle, be as active as you can be, which I'm thrilled because both of my children are both very physically active, which is one of the best things they can do for themselves is staying active and trying to avoid other bad habits. So
Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Why don't you think, why aren't women talking about this?
It's not easily seen. I was always told by being in the hospital. I remember when I had my open heart surgery, I was 29 when I had my open heart surgery. And I was on a hospital floor with patients that were twice my age, and everyone that would see me would say, well, you look like a picture of perfect health. I mean, I was, fortunately never been overweight, and I was always as active as I could be, and, tried to be healthy in that manner. And I think that's what a lot of it is for a lot of people. It's not a visible disease, and oftentimes people are so busy that they just try and brush it off as maybe another virus or another illness that is just going to pass and they'll bounce back from. And I think it's just one of those diseases that again, it's not visible, and it's not easy to identify what it is. And I try my best to help spread the news and spread awareness, and I think that's what we need to continue to do, is to try and empower other people to take their health and take their health seriously, to be their best advocate, to just spread that awareness and educate others. I'm Keri, Mathew, and I go red for my family. I want to uncover the truth about heart disease because I want to give hope to future generations that they can lead a normal, long, healthy life. With the continued medical advancements, there's hope and understanding your condition, and being your own best advocate is really what is key. Seeing my children graduate from high school, from college, getting married, just in general, my family is my why.